It's that time again. Welcome back to another episode of the Baseball Card Junkies in Extra Innings. You got
Happy
myself,
Monday.
you've got Mike over here, and yeah, so it's a short week this week. I saw that you've had one impromptu live stream, and then you
Mhm.
actually had the break. We was talking
Yep.
a little bit about it earlier on,
Yep.
and it was pretty good. I have to go check it out just to see exactly what all goodies that we hit.
It was better than any modern day break you would ever do. That's for sure. For
Yeah,
about a quarter of the price.
I mean, I would love to see in today's breaking arena a lot more vintage breaks.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be ideal.
I think that's what I'm gauging to, more the vintage than the modern, because the
Yeah,
modern, it's just it's not there. It's like, why don't you just open up a Don Ross box from, the late 80s to early 90s and do a break with that? You're going to get the same exact thing, except maybe one poor autograph or something like that.
yep, definitely. So, all right, let's see who we got in the chat. We've got LOL 8347. That's my little brother Manny.
Okay.
Then we have Brian Hendricks, and we've got John Dorch. Thanks for coming in, fellas. Make
All
sure
right.
y'all hit
Thanks
the
for hanging
like
out with
button
us
for me.
tonight for the next
So,
hour.
yeah. So we're really not gonna get into what's coming out because we did that last Sunday. We're not gonna review what we reviewed already. What's up, Larkin?
Hey, Lockin.
Because we've been there, but we do have a couple of items that we're gonna touch on that is hobby related, and I think it's we need more of this, to be quite
It's a
honest.
pretty interesting list that Enfuego came up with for tonight.
Okay. So, for example, we had a collector who finally accomplished this with he after a 30-year break from collecting, this individual actually came back in swinging. So he finally wrapped up this week the last card he needed for was the Shohei Ohtani just to complete the all aces insert set.
That's awesome. What year was that from? Is
This
that
is
this?
the latest
Is that
no,
this year's?
yeah, no, that's 24.
Oh, 24.
Because
That's
all
awesome.
aces initially was just the pitchers. So that's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
mean, again, we just need to see more of that. Don't really care about these YouTube videos showing I spent $25,000 in 30 minutes and this is what I got to show for it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just like so. Have you ever experienced or you know of anybody who's gone through like these flea markets or these antique shops and they found an item or a product that you're like, how the hell did this get here? This is like something that you would actually find in one of the big three websites or something like that, or
Yeah.
like a
I mean,
car like
stuff like that happens all the time, because people that do flea markets, they sometimes they just don't know what they have. They don't know what it's worth, and they think that something that they have is worth more,
Mhm.
and they won't get rid of it. But it comes down to research. I think it just depends on your niche or whatever. Like,
Right.
if I was going to, buy a bottle of wine, I wouldn't know the difference between, this, that, and the other. But the prices are different on everything.
Yeah.
I'm not like a wine person or anything like that, or an art person that would say, oh wow, that looks like it could be possibly like a Picasso or something. I would have no idea. So
Definitely.
so the same thing happens with baseball cards. I mean, it's like their kids collect it, and it's left in their attic for God knows how long, and then it's forgotten about, and then all of a sudden it goes to a flea market, and you can find cards in there that are worth a lot of money, because people
Definitely.
they just don't know, or they just don't want to spend the time, or they don't know where to look for the prices of everything.
Right. So in this case, there was a collector who found some pretty high-end products and he only paid a fraction for them. So this individual ended up picking up 3 boxes of 2018 Topps Gold label, and they were valued at $550 a piece. he only paid $12 for all three.
So wait a minute. Was this okay, when I was looking at that, was that from a store or was it from a flea market?
It's
Because I'm looking at
definitely
the barcodes and everything. That looks a little professional.
it looks like McKay's books, CDs, movies, and more.
Wow. Okay. So CDs, movies, books, and more does not know anything about baseball cards.
They really do not. Now the question is, if you was this collector, would you rip them or would you just flip them? Because 2018, who were the key rookies in that year?
Ohtani was in 18.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I think Acuna was.
Acuna was. Judge was the year before. Alonso was the year after. Vladdy was the year after. What I would do with that is I would have those 3 boxes and I would do a break for $10 a spot, shipping included. Why not?
That sounds like you. Oh, yeah, look, Soto was in that checklist.
Oh,
also.
Soto was in there too. Yeah. Great. Thank you, Nate.
Appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, me personally, I would just rip him and keep him himself, and anything worth flipping towards the PC. That's the route I would go.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it that way. I would probably include a box in each break.
Yeah,
that I would do.
I mean, yeah, you
because of what? They're $500 boxes, right? And
$550,
you got them for
yes,
$550. So that is $1,650 worth of cards for $12.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, man,
that's a killing.
Flip for the PC. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I would probably just give back to the Cardmunity, but then again, you find an Ohtani like 101 or something in there.
Yeah, you would if it was a 1-on-1.
Then I'd be kicking myself a little bit, but whatever. I'm not in this hobby for the money. I'm not in it to make money or anything like that. I just enjoy it.
I mean, I can say I'm not in it for the money, but I'm in it for the money towards the collection.
You're in it for a different. Yeah, you're more of the high end collector, where I'm the low to almost kind of barely almost at that mid.
That sounds like something Adam would do. Put the boxes in the closet
and put them in the closet.
Go in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yep. So what's up, Adrian? Glad you could show up.
Hey, Adrian. What's up, Adam? Nate.
So Topps is showing us a sneak preview of some new designs in their product.
Okay.
Here's the all new ultraviolet auto coming. My first impression.
So that's in Chrome?
This is going to be in Chrome. My first impression, I like the design. The player himself needs work.
Yeah.
I don't. I'd like to know what.
It looks like a laser cut, or not a laser cut, like a laser engraving of the player.
Yeah.
Which is
because I mean, it's just it's hard to make any type of sense out of.
Yeah, I need to see the player, not a inscribed image of the player.
Because I mean, think about it. Without the name of the on the name, and then it's kind of hard to not notice that being Aaron Judge. Would you be able to instantly figure out who the player was if there was no name?
Actually, by the face to the left of it, yeah, I could. And actually his stance, because I've seen so many baseball cards of him. Right. But if you were to put it in front of Joe Schmo and say, "Oh, who is this player?" they would have no idea.
Yeah.
You would get everywhere from Reggie Jackson to Babe Ruth.
Got to get better, Topps. Definitely got to get better. Oh, all right.
I don't even care if it's a 101.
Yeah. So I'm sure you heard the story about we now have a new pope.
Okay? Yes, Pope.
Everybody started making a big fuss about it because he happens to be from Illinois. Mm-hmm. His favorite team happens to be the White Sox.
Okay.
So Tops/Fanatics capitalized on it.
Of
Decided
course they
let's
did.
give the Pope his own card.
Why wouldn't they?
So somebody was fortunate enough to pull the Superfractor.
Wait a
Okay.
minute. Did they have like Pope packs or something like that?
I don't know what they did, but
Where did it
it's from
come from?
Tops now.
What set was it in?
And his
Or was it a Tops
Superfractor
Now?
is
It's a Tops Now card. Okay. All
but
right.
it sold for $16,500.
Wow. And that's the 101 Pope
Yes,
Leo.
it is.
Wow.
I mean,
capitalism at its best. That's all I have to say.
The way these manufacturers capitalize on little snippets, I'm not knocking them, but now they're reaching.
Yeah.
You know, so so I did some searching and we got a little Topps Chrome baseball preview. So obviously this is what we got. Broke Dick Rick on the cover. 300 cards for the base set. Otani is card 1. There's 74 rookies on the checklist. All right,
which is nice.
Yeah. So it's coming in 2 variations. You got the jumbo, your standard, the hobby, 20 packs, 4 cards each. Each box guarantees 1 auto. Whereas the jumbo, you get 12 packs, each pack containing 11 cards, and it gives you 3. Then you got the megas. It has 7 packs with 6 cards per, and then it has also 10 exclusive X-Fractor packs, parallels. So those must be the Mojo packs. The value or blaster boxes have 7 packs, 4 cards per, and 4 sepia refractor parallels inside that won't be found anywhere else. So this is what the Future Stars looks like.
Okay.
Don't look that bad.
No. There's only so much you can do with that. I like it.
Yeah. So here's a couple of the inserts. They got the 90s baseball design. 20 cards celebrating the 35th. Yep, got that. They got the Youth Quake. We've seen those. We've seen the Future Stars. Numbers live forever. A checklist of only 3 cards. Barry and Jim Tomei. Wonder who's the third one. And you got Cooperstown cards. Okay, so now they're incorporating an insert commemorating the most recent Hall of Famers that were elected.
Okay, I like that.
I remember us talking about that in a previous edition years ago. Then you got the Champion Refractor, 16 cards highlighting the Dodgers players like Otani, Betts, Freeman. Okay, so pretty much celebrating the World Series of whatever team going forward.
All right, I'll take the Dodgers in every break. Guaranteed to get some cards.
Yeah. Then you got your all-edge rookie rush. 20 cards showing Cruz, Job, Acuna, and Sasaki. Your ultraviolet is a 15-card checklist. Radiating rookies is 20 cards, and then your power players. So that's what the power players looks like.
Wait a minute, but the inserts keep going.
Yeah, this is
where it gets a little crazy.
Lightning leaders, 15 cards. Then you have your Fanaticals. Then you have your World Series at night. Then your Shadow Etch, Topps Chrome Expose, your Helix. Oh, I like this. That's pretty cool.
I'm not liking it.
They had to do better with the color scheme because it looks like black on black. And
yeah, they need to brighten up that background a little bit.
They do. Okay. On-card auto. Chrome Legends. Some more inserts. World Series champion autos. 90s top baseball autos. Radiating rookies. I mean, the list just keeps going and going.
Going.
Numbers
I like
live
that
forever.
Ichiro and Griffey card. What was the one before that? Was it Orion and who was the other one?
Ryan and Trout.
Interesting combination.
It is. I was thinking the same
Yeah,
thing.
very interesting. But I like it.
You
Yeah.
know, so overall, I mean, Chrome is really sought after,
Yeah.
but Topps is it's giving us more inserts than base set.
Yeah. What is going on with the inserts?
I
Crazy.
have no clue on
I
what's
was going
going
to
on.
say that too, Magnus. I was waiting for somebody else.
Give me X Fractors and radiating rookies and keep the
And
rest.
keep the rest. There you go.
Okay.
That's right, Adam.
Helix was in the Japan boxes.
Okay. That makes sense.
And Nala's a fan of the Radiance. Okay. All right. So moving on to the sport. If you don't know, now
hey, Magnus,
you do.
I just got to say, just remember one thing. Magnus, this was on Enfuego's browser. So whatever comes up, it's on his browser.
It was Mike's suggestion.
It was not my suggestion.
So we did lose a legend recently. We lost the Cobra.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I mean,
all right.
Just to
being a Phillies fan, and when the Pirates were in the National League East against the Phillies, I hated Dave Parker because he was such a good player. He was one of those players that if he was on your team, you would love him. But when he was on the other team, you hated him. But over the years, just come to respect what he did.
Agreed. I mean, made the Hall of Fame. He got an MVP.
Finally, well-deserved.
7-time All-Star, 2 rings, 3 Silver Sluggers, All-Star MVP, 2 batting titles, 3 Gold Gloves, and he won a home run derby.
Yeah.
So,
he didn't have the home run power. 339 home runs by today's estimate is, like not enough to get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Batting average 290, but he was complete. He was a really complete player.
He was
for his size, and at that time back in the late 70s, early 80s.
I mean, he's a big boy too. He's 6'5", 230.
Yeah, I mean, he was a big player. He was like the Aaron Judge of the I can't say Aaron Judge, but he was built like Aaron Judge, but it was in the 80s, and he was an imposing player, but he could do everything. Mm-hmm. He could do everything.
Man. So I'm just pulling up all these links right now because I've got to laugh at it. So a couple of weeks ago, we announced that Wander Franco was going to begin his trial in February, on that Friday, the day that we actually, the week that we actually announced it. They already came to a verdict.
Yeah.
And
that's what I say.
He was found guilty. Okay. Here's where I'm confused. He received a 2-year suspended sentence.
Yeah.
And will have to serve the sentence if he doesn't meet certain conditions. Okay. And it's pretty obvious. The primary conditions: stay away from minors. But I'm not looking at this.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just looking at the fact: stay away from kids. If he was to be tried and convicted in a U.S. court, he would have had the book thrown at him.
Oh, yeah.
Then he would have to register as a sex offender for however long.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, he's going to have to, with the little bit of money that he's inherited from the Rays, buy himself a small island that will safeguard his risk of being caught up with a minor.
Yeah.
But then Jeff Passan, he's actually went in it also and gave his thoughts on it. So he says here, regardless of Franco's prison sentence being suspended, the conviction is likely to make it difficult for him to get work visa in the United States. Right. He is currently on MLB's restricted list for failure to report, and without a work visa, he would not be able to do so. All right. He also wrote that his 2-year prison sentence is suspended if he fails to meet the conditions set by the judge the main one, staying away from little boys and girls, he's going to have to serve time. Now, what is the likelihood that I know for a fact the Rays won't pick him up?
Nobody's going to pick him up.
What is the likelihood and even a consideration of him coming back to the league?
0%. No team would have the morals to do that. Or I should say the lack of morals to do that.
So what does the chat think? Do you think after he serves his 2 years, he's going to try to make an attempt?
Oh, he's going to make an attempt, but he's not going to get back. He's going to go to another league somewhere in the world and, and start to play.
Look at this. His mom
I didn't see
years.
that.
That I didn't see.
That's not being reported.
Yeah, they're more focused on Wander because he's the one that has to be in front of a camera.
Yeah, Mexican League. That was the first thing I thought of.
Or maybe play in Korea.
Yeah, he won't. Exactly, Sean. He won't make it to the U.S. No.
It's crazy.
No, he won't. Could you imagine the backlash if a team signed him to a minor league contract for that team?
Yep.
I mean, they got no. It's stupid. It would be suicide. It would be financial suicide. Yeah, no way.
So can we agree that Trevor Bauer has better chances of going back into the league than Franco?
Absolutely.
That's crazy. Oh man. All right. So when I put this outline together, I kind of come up with some little creative captions for Mike to read, or when Arnie's back, he reads and he's like, wait, what the hell is he talking about?
That's exactly what I did. That's the first thing I said. I said I had to read every link because I had no idea what you were talking about.
This next link, I captioned it, the latest Ouchie and Boo Boo list in MLB Today. All right, so the latest Blue Jays injuries, you got, if you going through all these links, you would see, because I'm not going to go in through all of them, but a lot of the players are actually on the injured list. So, like, take the Red Sox, Bregman on his rehab. Today's the best day I felt. Then you got the Yankees. They put Cruz on the IL. Wells tested for circulatory issue. I mean, it's crazy. So what I will do for your viewing pleasure is I will post this link.
Yeah, put that link up.
So if you have time, by all means, go ahead and entertain yourself. If Trevor hasn't had his shot yet, I find it hard to believe he ever gets in. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Sarahara O has 1,100 home runs now that MLB is letting all the Japanese stats. Ichiban Suzuki has 6 and past Pete Rose. Okay. The more you know. What's next in the pipe? Okay.
Yeah, Pena's out with a broken rib.
Yeah.
And he was having a good year too. Wow.
So this one actually kind of surprised me because his name has been ran all sorts of negative ways through dirt and everything, but yet he's actually getting the recognition he rightfully deserves. So the Giants CEO is looking at giving him a statue outside of Oracle Park.
You see, so who are the statues out there? It's got to be Willie Mays. It's got to be McCovey, and now Barry Bonds.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, why not?
Yeah. What does the chat think about that? I mean, eventually these players are going to get into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Eventually. It's going to happen.
Yep.
Because it's not just the 1 or 2 or 3 players that we're looking at, that use steroids. And pretty much everybody used steroids back then.
It was
steroids going against steroids.
It was a common practice.
Adrian, there you go. About damn time. Nice.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Alan says he's trash. Uh-oh, we got East Coast going against West Coast now.
Look. Adam says he needs to have a needle in the butt, though. Only Adam. But honestly, in my opinion,
deserved whether he makes it or not, okay.
in my opinion, whether he gets in or not, at least he's getting the recognition from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, 750 plus home runs. That's not easy to do.
Yeah. No.
All right, so our voting list is getting smaller as far as all-star selections.
Yeah.
So right now, the two that got a bye, which is something I really haven't heard of, but they got a bye and they're automatically in the All-Star game. So you got Aaron Judge, who racked up over 4 million votes, and Ohtani, who racked up just under 4 million.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now, as
Now,
far as
before you go any further than that, did I read in this article that there were only 11 million people that voted? Where did I see that? I thought I saw it in this one.
That's a good question.
Or maybe there was only 11 million ballots cast. I find that very low, considering you could vote up to 5 times a day.
That's a good question.
Maybe it was all right. You know what? You go through this one. I'm going to go back to your list because I saw it somewhere. Go ahead. You can.
All right. So for the American League at the catcher position, you got Riley and Kirk. I mean, Riley definitely, because I mean, he's leading the league in home runs. Then at first base, you got Vladdy, and then you got Goldschmidt. Okay, so let me see here. Yep, he's still punishing baseballs and has posted a solid 282, 387, 450. Okay. What else we got here? At second base, you got Glaber, and then you got Jackson. I don't know how the hell Jackson. He probably just got in by the popularity vote, in my opinion.
Who, Jackson?
Yeah.
He's. I wouldn't even say it's popularity. I think he can be in there.
There you go. Larkin says nearly 11 million ballots.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I really think that's low. What do you think? What does the chat think? I think that's actually kind of low that there was only 11 million, considering you could vote up to 5 times a day.
Now, who's to say a certain percentage of that 1 million actually capitalized on voting those 5 times that they're allotted?
Well, that's true. I mean, I didn't even vote this year.
Yeah,
usually I vote, but this year I didn't vote. Maybe it's just like okay, it's the All-Star game, not a big deal.
Okay, so Adam is saying Jackson has been playing well, but plus there's not a lot of second base talent.
No, Jackson has had a good season this year, because I think the hype's off him right now.
Barry Bonds has hit 6,969 home runs in pickup games on a little league field. Should that count?
I think wiffle ball counts too. All you had to do was knock it on the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
Neighbor's roof. Boom. Home run.
All right. So for your third baseman, we're looking at J-Ram and Alex Bregman. I got a feeling Bregman will likely miss that train.
I think so.
So they'll go right to the next person. All right. At shortstop, you got Jacob Wilson from the A's and Bobby.
No problem there.
No issues at all.
Nope. Jacob Wilson's having an awesome rookie year. He's going to win the Rookie of the Year.
His last 50 plate appearances, he's been doing his thing. Matter of fact, my Yankees took a loss to the damn A's not too long ago.
Yeah.
So for outfield, we're looking at Riley Green, Javi Baez, Mike Trout, and Steven Kwan.
Nice.
Okay, so with Judge automatically getting a spot, those 4 names are going to have to fight for the other 2. So what are we thinking?
Who would I go with there?
I would go Trout and Kwan.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Because I would go Green and Kwan.
Okay. And the reason why I would go Trout is because it's not like he's a subpar player when he's on the field. He does perform. and he does his thing. It's just probably after the game where he's regretting some of the decisions he made to make those plays.
Yeah, I would go with Green. I would go with Green over Trout.
Okay.
But we agree on Quan.
Apparently, bringing the heat is roasting me with my Trout pick.
And he put an emoji up there.
I'm entitled to my damn opinion.
You're darn right you are.
All
I
right,
disagree with it, but
yeah.
It's your opinion.
At the DH, we got Ryan O'Hearn and Ben Rice.
And that's all they have for DHs. O'Hearn. Oh boy. He's having a good year, but I still go back to the striker video, the Balda Kikuchi.
Do offensive case count? Well, all right. All right, so for the National League, we got Will Smith and Carson Kelly at catcher.
Yep, fine with that.
Okay. First base, we got Freddie and we got Big Meat Pete.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. So they're projecting Alonso to hit 40 because he's on pace for 36. Well, no, he may not reach 40, but he's on pace for 36.
Okay.
Not
well,
bad.
as long as they don't play the Pirates every day, they'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So at second, you got Ketel Marte and Tom Edman.
Mm-hmm. Marte's having a great year.
Ketel Marte, I believe he was the one that had some type of scandal where one of the fans was actually saying something about his mother.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
that fan has been banned from all 30 stadiums indefinitely.
Yeah, and when I think he went to Chicago, or they were playing against the White Sox or something like that, and somebody they put up a banner. Ketel,
why would you want to bring up somebody's family?
I mean, it's just idiots. That's what it comes down to. People are idiots. It's like, why would you do something like that? Because you're not thinking.
All right, so at the third base, we got Manny Machado and Max Muncy.
No problem there.
Okay. And that shortstop, you got Lindor and Mookie.
It's looking like a solid team.
Okay. Who else we got? Okay, so outfield, you got PCA, Teoscar, Acuna, Kyle Tucker, Andy Pages, and Juan Soto.
Ooh, this is interesting. A lot of stuff going on there.
Okay, I can tell you definitely who I won't pick. I don't foresee Tucker. And I definitely would not go Juan Soto.
Wow. Okay.
With Soto, why I say that for Soto is when it's one thing to make an error. Okay, we're not all perfect. We're all human. But some of the mistakes that Soto has made in times of desperation, I guess you could say, he chokes big.
All right. I would go with Pete Crow. I would go with Tucker. Oh, man. Acuna just came back, but Soto is actually heating up. I would go with Soto because Soto is actually heating up in June. Acuna, I know. He came back and he's doing great. And Nate, I saw your comment. Why are there no Phillies on the ballots? I know. It's horrible. It's absolutely, yeah. I mean, last year must have been an anomaly for the Phillies because we had Harper, Turner, and Bohm starting this year. Well, Harper's out, Turner's just Turner, and Bohm is just Bohm right now. But we're going to have 3 starting pitchers, so I'm not.
And I do agree with you, Adam. I mean, I don't think the Mets spent $750 million on
his defense.
His defense.
Yeah, no, he's not very good in the field. But the All-Star game's all about offense. But unfortunately, the pitching has been so good the past few years that the offense just doesn't exist. So I would go with Armstrong, Tucker, and Soto. Yeah, I'm actually going with 2 Cubs.
I will go with Armstrong, Teoscar, and Acuna.
Okay.
So I mean,
Yes, Alan, I saw that. I was kind of shocked because I'm watching the game. I said, "Is that Harper batting?" And Fuego goes, "Yeah, he's back." I was like, "Oh, okay."
So now, who would win the game, AL or NL? I would
going
have to put my
National.
money on AL.
Oh, really? All
Yeah.
right, let's do it. Let's do a bet, gentleman's bet. I'm going National League this year. I
Okay.
think the National League's pitching is superior.
So since we're gonna do that, I'm curious to know what the chat's gonna think.
AL by 2 runs. Adam says AL has the pitching. Nate says National League. He's a Gold Glove finalist, Juan Soto. Only if it takes his glove and gets it gold plated himself. NL roster is stronger. Huh. There you go, Nate. Thank you. Philly's starting rotation shuts down the AL. Mark's going AL. Wow. Okay. We're all over the place.
I do have a poll going up in the chat, so we're trying to get everybody's perspective.
What do you think? Skeen starts for the National League?
I would think so.
Yeah, he's the flavor.
Although he's not having a dominant year like he did last year.
But he's still having a good year. But he's the golden child. The AL typically wins. Yeah, I'm rooting for the AL. I think Allen has a stronger team. Okay.
Okay, so now,
see what aces actually get the pitch. Good point, Lawkin.
So right now, in the polls, it shows the American League is going to win. Half of the chat is saying American League. 44% is saying National League, and only 6% is saying the Pee Wee League.
All right, here's our bet in Fuego. Here's our bet. If the National League wins, you have to dance. If the American League wins, I have to play a song on my guitar.
Why? That is a rigged bet because I can't dance. You could play a guitar.
I can play guitar, but I can't sing. There's a difference. There's a big difference. I'm totally out of tune with my guitar. I'm hearing one thing and I'm singing a different thing.
Well, okay.
So somehow one of us is. I've seen you dance, and you actually do have some moves.
Yeah, but
I have white man moves. It just doesn't work. There's nothing going on here.
Well, all right.
We make him wear his Met Soto jersey.
So with that, we're gonna go ahead and move on from there. But we did have another player announce his retirement recently. Without pulling up statistics, are we a candidate for the Hall of Fame? And this goes for everybody.
I don't even see the person that came up. I know who it is. Well, I'm going to go with no. Unless it's just my screen where it didn't come up.
All right, so here's who we're talking about. 94 home runs, career WAR of 17.8, batting .280, 1,200 hits, and he's a 3-time All-Star.
Yeah, no. He's retiring for all the right reasons. I read the article, and it said that he had to be like 100% focused on baseball just to play baseball. But once he had his kid, it changed his life. So he's got enough to live the rest of his life, and his kid is set up for the rest of his life. So, yeah, I would do it. I would do it. I don't think his head was really in the baseball after he got traded from the Royals. So, well, that's not bad.
Is that a fact or is that speculation, Adam? Will Clark had better numbers and did not make it. Merrifield should not get in. Okay.
Yeah, it's a joke that Will Clark's not in the Hall of Fame.
Get Rips is saying, who would have Whit Merrifield in the Hall? I mean, there's a lot of players in the Hall right now that could be asking the same question. You know, but me personally, I don't think he's going to get. Honestly, I don't even think he's going to make it through all 10 years. At some point, he's going to not be able to reach the minimum required votes to stay on the ballot.
Who, Whit? No. There's no way. No.
I don't even think he'll get in the Veterans Committee either.
No, I think, yeah, when Get Rip said not in this era, yeah, I think that it's like every so often, I don't know if it's 10 years or 20 years or 15 years or whatever, it kind of changes. You know, the way they start weighing stats and everything, come up with all these new lame brain stats and whatever. It used to be, you know, for a pitcher, 300 or what was it? 300 wins guaranteed in there, or 3,000 strikeouts, 200 wins. That doesn't even matter anymore. Yeah. For batters, 300 home runs, it's like a guarantee. Now it's the plateaus have changed. Everything has changed. There's a lot of different variables that can get people into the Hall of Fame, and some people that you think are going into the Hall of Fame are like, why didn't he get in?
I don't think
he has the same numbers as this person.
I don't think it's changed. I think there's been additions too. Okay,
yeah, all right. I agree with that.
So yes, I mean, you've got players like you got A-Rod. He's met all those requirements, but then
he's got a tag on him.
With the writers, they're holding the whole PD tag.
Exactly. He's got a tag on him.
You know,
and Bond, there's so many players that have a tag on
right.
them. One of these days, that tag is going to get lifted, and they're all going in.
If you look at the eligibility rules for the Hall of Fame, you know, they don't specify what deems you ineligible, but at the same time, you know, it's like they if you like the player, yes, he's gonna get your vote. But if you don't like them for whatever reason, because again, we've had this discussion before, you've got a lot of voters right now who probably weren't even born when half these players had their careers. Correct. They're just going off of the more seasoned voters, and that's how they're basing their ballots.
Yeah. I think we had this talk a few weeks ago, and we probably had it every 6 months about the Hall of Fame and the voters and all that stuff. And
I mean, let's look at it like this. How awkward would it be? And no disrespect to Voggs or anything. Let's just say he had an opportunity to vote on the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. Would you take his vote serious if let's just say Darryl Strawberry was up for consideration after he retired? I don't even think he was born for most of his career.
And there's some voters. It's like Jeter didn't make unanimous by one vote. Mm-hmm. Like, really? Why? Why did he not make it by one vote? Because one person didn't like Derek Jeter or didn't think he was deserving of the Hall of Fame? When you look at that ballot, he was the one that was most deserving of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And one person had to say no. Like, come on.
Been over this many times. The voters saw the players on the ballot whole career.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if they was to refine the eligibility criteria, like you said, there'd be a lot more people in the Hall of Fame. If you just focused on his gameplay throughout the career, not anything that he's done outside of baseball.
Yeah. Oh, was it Ichiro that missed by a vote?
Jeter missed by a vote also.
Yeah, Ichiro and Jeter. Yeah.
So, I mean, we need to get better with voter eligibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So it just doesn't make any sense anymore.
Yeah, it's
All
like
right.
even with Dave Parker, him passing away, even though I hated him because he was on the Pirates, he was still a great player. And yes, I would vote him into the Hall of Fame.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I don't hold any bias against any player because they were on another team or anything like that. If they have the numbers and I feel that they should be in, they should be in.
You
That's what it
know,
comes that's what it comes down to.
it's like with we all know that the Red Sox and the Yankees had a long-standing
Oh
rivalry.
yeah.
You
Right.
know, I had no resentment when they got David Ortiz in. I mean, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Did he have to get in first ballot? In my mind, no. But it's either you get in or you don't. What's the difference between the first look and the second?
Right.
You know,
Right.
so I'm not upset about it because I mean, rightfully deserved. He did what he had to do in order to get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and this year on the Veterans Committee, I thought that there was, like Steve Garvey should have gotten in too, but they were only allowed to have two people. It was Dick Allen, it was Dave Parker.
Yeah.
But I think Steve Garvey was a Hall of Fame player too.
Yep. I didn't want to bring it up, Don. All right, so the last segment that we're gonna go over is this past weekend's executions with some of these baseball games that occurred. Okay, so going back to Friday, the one that really stood out to
interesting
me,
weekend.
yes,
Very
so
interesting.
the Orioles had their way with the Rays. Okay, so
Unreal.
I mean, it's like Orioles had 22 runs off of 21 hits, whereas the Rays had 8 runs off 13 hits. And it's just I can't really make sense out of this.
It was a very weird weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah. You know, I mean,
don't worry, Dom, it's going to get weirder.
And then the next game that we have that really stuck out to me, it was Braves and the Phillies.
Phillies scored 2 runs in Houston in 3 games, and then he come back and scored 13 against the Braves.
And most of their runs came in the sixth. Half of their runs came in the third inning.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it
doesn't make any sense. It's weird.
It's just like,
well, that was the rain delay game. That was the that was the game that didn't start until like almost 9:30, and it took out both the starting pitchers. Yeah. So they had to do a bullpen. Yeah.
Then the Blue Jays had their way with the Red Sox 9-0. And then 15-9 Nationals and Angels. This was a pretty good game too. Brewers and Rockies 10-6.
And the Marlins and the D-backs. 17 runs in that game. Go down one more.
Yeah.
And the Marlins won.
Very surprising.
There were a lot of runs scored that night.
So Saturday, you got 15 runs between the Twins and the Tigers. 14. See, this is what I'm more accustomed to. The Rays having their way with their opposing team. Then you have 8-7, 15-1.
Crazy.
12-3. And I think maybe I'm reaching. It wouldn't be as bad if Pena wasn't banged up.
Yeah. Well, you're reaching a lot.
Yeah.
He would be good for maybe 2 more runs.
Okay, so Don says Pirates got some booty by bending the Mets over and having their way with them all. Well,
yeah, that's true.
This is definitely true.
Yeah.
And then for Sunday, Pirates 12-1. That's the game he must be talking about.
Oh no, it was all 3 games, dude. Go back and take a look at how many runs the Pirates put up against the Mets.
Okay, so
9-2.
They put 9.
Okay.
Friday, they put up
9 again. 9-1.
Okay, yep. There we go.
The Mets scored 4 runs. I think the Pirates scored, 9, 18? How many go to Sunday? And 12.
Yeah.
30. 30-4.
Mm.
Then the Yankees, Athletics. Yeah.
Marlins got another win.
All right. So Sunday it kind of settled down a little bit.
It came back down to reality.
Yeah, it came back down to where baseball scores should be.
All week.
All weekend.
Okay, so
and
Bregman
Bregman's
is
out
out
until after the All-Star.
Yep. They're likely going to end up doing that.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works out. But that's pretty much everything that we're going to cover for tonight. As more stuff comes in the shoot, I'll go ahead and put it all together for next Monday. Next Sunday there will not be a podcast. I'm doing the romantical thing with the wife. And I know Adrian's got some stuff going on as well.
So when is the All-Star game? Is it on the 8th?
The All-Star game.
Let's find out. Let's get something set up for the home run derby. Yeah, Wheeler 8 innings tonight, 10 Ks. Yep, he's pitching well.
All-Star game.
The only thing is saving our. Oh, it's on the 13th. Wait, what? 13th is a Sunday. 15th?
Oh, wait a minute.
What year are you in?
July 15th, 2025 is the All-Star game.
What date was that again?
July 15th.
15th. Okay, so we got 2 weeks out.
Yep.
2 weeks out for that. Yeah, 15th. So the 14th will be the home run derby. You want to do like a home run derby night instead of a podcast?
We can.
Yeah, let's do a home run derby night.
Okay.
Well, everybody join us. We'll put in their picks for the home run derby. We'll give something away.
There we go. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Get Ribs is saying, in his opinion, hitting catches up to a pitching around this time. In July, pitching dominates till summer and then strategy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could definitely do something and do a giveaway on whoever gets the closest to predicting on point.
Jason, I think we try to do a home run derby every year. I don't know if we did one last year or not.
We actually did.
We did? Okay.
Yes.
All right, we'll do one. I guess it's going to be on Monday night, so we'll do a derby here. Put the derby on. Everybody put your derby on your TVs, and we'll pick a player. And tiebreaker will be like total home runs or something like that.
There you go. That works for me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's pretty much it for tonight's show. Mike, you got anything coming up in the shoot?
Just some videos. Breaks are done. I got the break from Friday night already shipped out. It went out today. I said I wouldn't ship it until Wednesday or Thursday, but I was off Sunday, believe it or not. And I got everything sorted and packed up, and it went out today. Just got some videos coming up. That's about it. I'm going to throw some videos out there. I'm really starting to take a look at Shop Goodwill, and I'm finding some pretty darn good stuff in there. Everybody thinks, it's going to be like 5 pounds of cards for like $14.99 and $10 shipping, and
yeah,
it was all rookies. I was pulling all kinds of older rookie cards out of there. 7 Greg Maddux rookie cards came out of it. It was like, well, I look at it this way. Am I going to spend $25 on a blaster box where I know I'm going to get crap? Or am I going to spend, $25 at Goodwill and maybe find a diamond in the rough? Or maybe, just complete some sets or something like that. That's all I'm looking for right now. It's like my collecting has changed again. It's another year now. My collecting has changed again. I'm not buying. I bought. Okay. All right. Honestly, I got a video coming out. I bought 3 hanger boxes of 2022 Series 2.
Okay.
My hit was a sand glitter card. That was it.
About that.
Done.
But to answer Adam's question, I can confirm that Arnie is still alive and well. It's just, everybody has their own definition of adulting and their own methods of dealing with it. And right now, This one is it looks like with Arnie it's gonna go all 12 rounds because life is putting up a good fight with him. But as for me, I've pulled out all the pop ones that I personally have right here.
Wow.
And a lot of them I am surprised that those right there are all pop ones. Now they're not gem mints, but there are some of them that are PSA 10s, but then there's also some that are not 10 and they're also pop one.
Really? That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah.
So I've already shot the video. I'm gonna work on it this week before the wife and I actually head out for our little staycation. So, but yeah, if you happen to have Arnie's direct line, or you got a means of communicating with him, reach out to him. Just let him know that he's missed in the hobby, and hopefully everything works out to his benefit.
Yeah.
All right. So with all that being said and done, everybody, it's been fun and it's been real. We will go ahead and catch y'all on the next one.
Next week.